After completing species editing, add reactions to the model. Go back to the Model Editor tab. In the Choose Reaction Type panel, you will see different types of reaction buttons. To add one reaction to the model, click one of them, and then click the species which are involved in the reaction in the following order: reactant species or nodes first, and then product species or their nodes secondly. Once completing this action, click the arrow button to reset the cursor status to normal. Now we will add a 2-to-1 reaction between the species X, Y, and Z, meaning X plus Y react to form Z. Next we will add a 1-to-2 reaction between Z and A and B, which means Z produces A and B. Finally, we add a 1-to-1 reaction between B and X, which means B can produce X. Now you will see the species nodes are connected by edges, which we call hyperedges. One hyperedge consists of one unique connector node, the small rectangular node inside of it, and several edges. The edges with arrows from the connector node point to products of the reaction. The edges without arrows from the connector node point to reactants. Note that the connector node of a reaction therefore cannot be involved in another reaction as either a reactant or product. Next we start editing parameters for the reactions. To do this, we launch the Reaction Property Editor by double-clicking the connector node or any edge of the hyperedge. Through the Editor panel, you can input the reaction's name, stoichiometry, rate law, and rate constant values. Currently, there are 3 reactions between these species, called J1, J2, and J3. We will leave these names unchanged. For the reaction J1, we double-click the connector node, and then we see the Reaction Property Editor. Next we click the Input Stoichiometry for the reaction button. We assume 2y plus 1x forms Z. Through the pop-up window, we input the stoichiometry. Then click OK to confirm this input. Next we input parameters for the rate law of the reaction. There are 2 kinds of rate law that you can choose. First is built-in rate laws, which is default, or you can create a custom rate law. In the built-in rate law tab, there are 2 choices, irreversible and reversible mass actions. Click either of them in the kinetic laws list. Then click the Click Here to Input Rate Parameters button to input rate constants for the reaction. In the Preview or Input Custom Rate Law or Own Rate Law tab, you can preview mathematical expression of the input rate law and numerical values of rate constants, or input a custom rate by clicking Create Your Own Rate Law Expression button. Here we set the rate law of J1 as reversible mass action bi to uni, and keep the rate constant as the default value of 0.1 for both forward and backward reactions. Similarly, we set parameters for J2 and J3. In J2, Z reacts to form A and B and is a reversible reaction with the default rate constant. For reaction J3, B forms X and is a reversible reaction with the